Okay, before I show you how to make any other forms, I want to take a minute to explain how reference planes work. And in this first example, we created this table attached to the reference plane, which is the floor. And that's always the default reference plane. It's just down here at what we would call normally first floor, or in this case reference level. And if I were to go in and edit this, which you can do just by double-clicking on the form, you can get back into sketch mode, you would notice that the rectangle we initially drew is of course down here attached to that floor. And under properties, if I had said that I wanted a 0 offset for extrusion start, then it would extend all the way from the floor to that height of 2 foot 6 inches. Okay, so now we want to look at this as though, what if we wanted to start creating something at a different level? What if we didn't want it to be attached to the floor? What if we want to start creating something up here? And that's what we're going to do, in fact. In the next stage, we're going to start creating legs that extend from the table as opposed to extending from the floor. So an easier way to understand this would simply be to turn your reference plane on, and you can do that from the Create tab and turn on the Show Work Plane. Okay, reference plane, work plane, those terms are synonymous, but there's my work plane, or there's my reference plane, and now you actually get to see it. You can extend it by clicking on these grips, but that's not important. Whether you extend it or not, it already extends to infinity. So you can start building out here and still be connected to that level. If I want to change it, however, then I have to go create another reference plane. And in this case, an easy way to do that would be to go look at a different view. I'm going to go to the front view, for example, which will take me to the front of the table. There's the front of our extrusion. Again, the reference level we were looking at is down here, and I'm going to create a brand new one using reference plane. Careful, don't choose reference line, that's totally different. But the reference plane I will create by clicking at the bottom of the table, and you can extend this. It doesn't really matter how far. Like I said, these always extend into infinity. And I'm going to give it a name. I'll call this bottom of table. Looking at it as a line is almost hard to understand. You might look at this and not interpret that as a plane that has dimensions, that has area, that extends in all directions. But if you go look at it in 3D, then once we turn it on or make it the active view plane, you'll see more of what I mean. So again, at the Create tab, right next to the Show Plane, we can set the active plane. And just as you would have thought, the reference plane is already set as the active or the default reference plane. But now let's change it to the bottom of table, the one that we just created. When I say OK this time, you'll notice that it shifted up. That's the very line that I drew. If we use the 3D view to look at it from the front, you can see how that line becomes a plane. And you can draw a line anywhere. You can draw a plane to run vertically, or in this case horizontally. It really depends on the view that you created in. In the next video, I'll show you how we're going to use this reference plane, as mentioned earlier, to create legs that will extend down from the reference plane as opposed to extending up from the floor like we did in the last example.